Where's Andrew?
Dad, come on, you gotta get up. It's time to film the show.
Not another one. Welcome to the third episode of From the Baseline. You may just notice that tonight I'm holding a different racket because I have decided to convert to head, and over the next month I'll hope you will see how much my tennis will improve. Anyway, on tonight's show we have Pete Rogerson, a New Zealand airline pilot who's in Vancouver, and we have Stella and Gemma, who are both back in Auckland. So let's get on with the show. So here is Pete. Okay, with me today is Pete Rogerson, who's an airline pilot, and he's stuck up in, he's in Vancouver at the moment. He's been up there for a few days. Pete, firstly, is there any truth in the rumour going around Birkenhead is that you're flying around the world to try and find a country where you can play tennis so that you'll be informed when we return into the Club Champs Restricted Championship?
I thought I had all my tracks covered, Andrew, and I was going to sneak away. And no, I knew I'd be on lockdown in the hotel anyway. It's supposed to be room isolation. We're only allowed 100 metres along the road because there's no room service. But if anyone wants to know where to go in LA or Houston or Chicago or Bali or Honolulu or Perth, I know the spots. So, but not Vancouver, sorry.
Okay. Oh, well, that's what Mr. McPherson told me is not true then. Okay. So how did you end up in Vancouver, and what's happening in your life at the moment?
Air New Zealand signed a contract with the German government to repatriate what we were told up to 20,000 Germans back to Frankfurt. So we've organised with the Canadian government to stop over in Vancouver for fuel and a crew change. And I'm part of that initial group that came up here, and we're doing the Vancouver-Frankfurt portion. So the flight gets off here, stops here, the passengers don't get off, the flight attendants and pilots get off, and the new pilots and flight attendants get on that have been based here and go on to Frankfurt. So.
And you're all heading up to Frankfurt shortly?
Well, yeah, the first flight goes tomorrow. I'm the third lot. I'm going the following day. So there's a crew that flies up, and there's a crew that are passengering on the flight. So as soon as it gets to Frankfurt, they'll turn it around and fly it back to Vancouver. So,
and you're probably coming back at that stage to Vancouver?
Yeah, and at this stage I'm coming back to New Zealand. We were supposed to do 2 return flights, but sat here for 5 days now waiting. The government changed the rules, unfortunately, and didn't like it, and they finally gave the approval for it yesterday. So we sat here for a long time. It's been a bit wasted, really. But hey, I've read 3 novels. I can recommend Orphan X if you're into that at all. It's Greg Hurwitz. It's got 5 series and a series, so I've read 3 of them.
Right, and I hear at least wine shops are open in Canada as well.
Yeah, well, we know that we're only allowed 100 metres. We're very fortunate that there's a wine shop that sells beer in the fridge and wine, and we all know the owner by first name basis now.
Right.
So, I think we're keeping his business open.
Right. So Simon might want to relocate to. Simon might want to relocate to Canada now. He knows that.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Simon. But the only thing they seemed a little bit more strict on than when we arrived here was the social distancing. I hadn't seen the markings on the supermarket floor at 2 metres at that stage, but I hear they've been done in New Zealand since. So they're quite strict on that, but people are still driving around. The thing they do that's really nice up here is at 7 o'clock every night, they either have the fire brigade or the police drive along the streets with their sirens and the flashing lights going, and people come out on the balcony of their apartments and clap and bash wooden spoons against pots to make lots of noise in support for the people who are working in the medical facilities. So that's rather nice. It's quite respectful.
Yeah, cool. So I've got a video of that, Pete, so I might just put that up on our Facebook page separately for people to have a look at that. So that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so no idea when we might see you back in the country?
Thursday the 9th at 9 o'clock we land. I hear it's very slow. They're only letting a few people off at a time, and It might take you a couple of hours to get through customs by the time you fill out the forms.
Yeah.
I had a phone call from the health department today saying, I hear you have been out of the country. I said, well, I still am. I'm in Vancouver. So it's the people trying to follow up, and Sarah Renaz, she had no idea that I was a pilot or what, but I just filled out the normal arrival card as we did when we passengered home from Los Angeles last time.
And obviously you work in an industry which is going to be massively affected by this virus. Your thoughts sort of on that going forward?
Well, it's quite frightening to see all the aircraft parked around the world. Every airline's the same. It's only really domestic flights in the States that seem to be reasonably busy. Obviously, Air New Zealand's very grateful to this charter. There may be another one for us repatriating English people, because the British government want their people home too. So it's worth, tens of millions of dollars. So at a time when you need cash flow, that'd be really good. We've got very strict protocols of how we've got to behave and follow the health requirements in each country, because we've got governmental approval at every place we're at, so we don't want to get in trouble with facilities and the whole thing being, cancelled.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a number of months. They're talking about 20% redundancies of pilots. We've all agreed to take backlog of leave, which is what I'll be doing when I get back for a couple of months. So you get those tennis courts open, I'll be able to have a hit. Yeah, if you ever want to hit, I'm just across the road from Andrew, so hey, it's not far.
Yeah, okay, good. That's good, Peter. I'll let everyone know that you'll always be available for tennis. So thanks for your time today, and all the best up there in Canada. And I'm sure Leanne will be looking forward to having you back in the not too distant future.
Hey, sounds good. Well, you look after yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheers, Peter.
Welcome to On the Couch. Today's first question is from Grant Borry. Grant has been left with a half-built deck around his house, and he's asking, should he take up the hammers and complete the work himself? Well, Grant, at the end of the tennis season, you struggled to hit the ball with your racket. So I'm saying to you, do not pick up a hammer and try to hit a nail. The health services are under a lot of strain at the moment, and we do not need another accident. The second question I've got is from a concerned parent who remains anonymous. She's saying, Andrew, we hear that you want to be a divorce lawyer. Is there a chance that you could start divorcing my kids once the lockdown is completed? Well, mother, I'm afraid that your children are a function of your parenting. You need to realise that for the rest of the year, it is your teacher who puts up with your children. So what I recommend to you is that you buy your teacher a very good present when the lockdown is finished. Okay, right, today's second interview is with Gemma and Stella, who have just returned from their college scholarships in America. Gemma is in the first year of the scholarship, and Stella was supposed to be in her final year.
Hi girls, nice to see you.
Hey Andrew, and hello everyone else at Northcote, I guess. It's a bit weird, doesn't really feel like we can say that because we can't come and see anyone, but oh well, there's nothing you can do about that in the situation right now, I suppose.
I'm sure your mum is loving having you at home anyway. Has she lined up a few jobs for you?
Yeah, well, we've been in self-isolation for like the whole time now, so we've had all of our meals cooked for us, all the dishes done for us. We've been able to do like nothing, so I'm just in isolation today, so I can start doing stuff for myself.
So you couldn't mix with mum and dad even?
No, it's meant to be like 2 meters apart, and like we can't touch the same stuff and everything, so it was kind of annoying.
Okay, firstly, Stella, it's supposed to be your last year at college. How did you sort of find out about the end of the tennis season, and how did you get home?
Our coach, well, we were hearing about a ton of the other conferences and other sports were cancelling everything just like through social media and stuff. So our teams texting each other, we're like, what's going to happen? We haven't heard anything from coach yet. And he just brought us in for a meeting and kind of said, yeah, well, it's suspended it's like indefinitely suspended. So, you know, everything's going to go online for school and just we'll wait to hear the news. And then he texted us, like it was probably the same day even, and he's like, everyone can go home if they want to, make plans, like I'm not seeing that the season's going to continue. And then it was probably just a few days later, the conference cancelled everything, NCAA cancelled everything. So then everyone started going home as soon as they could. I actually went to Florida for about a week for our spring break because we didn't, at that point I was staying, I wasn't going to come home. So I was like, well, we don't have tennis, I'll go to Florida. And then everything started happening in that week. So then I booked flights home from Florida, and then basically came back on the Saturday and then packed all my whole apartment up, my room, everything, put it in my wardrobe for my roommates to kind of sort out in my suitcases, and then flew home on the Sunday, like one day later after coming back from Florida. Got back, flew to San Francisco, and there was like barely anyone on the flight, and then flew to Auckland, and there was 39 people on my plane. So literally no one. Didn't have to come close to anyone, didn't have to do anything, had the whole row and the bed and everything. It was great.
Cool. And so are you, with the extension, they're allowing for people to do effectively an extra year, are you looking at doing another year now?
Yeah, definitely considering it, because I didn't really know what I was going to do afterwards anyway. So, and I mean, the whole point I went over there was for tennis, and to miss the whole season, pretty much my last season, I mean, I may as well go and do it again if I have that opportunity and I can still get a scholarship for it. So yeah, my coach has said that I'm welcome to come back if I want to. So it's definitely a good option for me that I'm definitely considering.
Yeah, cool. And Gemma, you're in your first year. How sort of has the team dynamic worked for you with players from other countries and all that sort of thing? And also, how did you manage to get home?
Our team is like, we're really close, all of us. It's really international. We have people from like South America and Europe and stuff, but we're all really good friends. And we found out, we were like on spring break in Hilton Head where we were playing matches every day. That was kind of like the start of our season. So we had like 5 matches there and we were doing really good and stuff. And then we were on our way home, which is like a 12-hour bus ride. And we were hearing all the stuff like on the internet, on Facebook and stuff, seeing that everyone's stuff was getting cancelled. And then we stopped to get food, and our coach like stopped. She like kicked the bus driver off the bus, and then she was like, hey, like I have to tell you guys something. And she told us that it was all over. And I think the whole team basically started crying. Like everyone was so upset. It was crazy. And like the coach, because she thought we were going to do really well. Like our season had started off really good. We were winning a lot and stuff, so it was going to be good. So everyone was really upset. And then we all had to go. Well, we didn't know what was happening with classes yet, because they cancelled classes for like 2 weeks. I think they put it online. So we were like, well, if it comes back face to face, we won't be able to come back. So they were saying like we have to stay for a bit. So we stayed for like a few days, and then eventually we went and talked to the international lady, and she was like, yeah, I think you should just go home, because everyone from America was basically just at their house because they didn't have any reason to come back. And then internationals were all still on spring break basically because they weren't allowed to come back. So it was crazy. Like there was no one on campus left, and then we just had to pack up all our stuff and fly home because we didn't know what else to do, and there was no one on campus.
Right. So you're studying though now, are you?
Yeah, we still have online classes until like 1 more month, I think. But it's fine.
Yeah, cool. Hey, you lost the singles club champs final on a number of occasions to Paige. I know she's lovely, but is there a part of you that really doesn't like her?
It's so annoying. She beats me so much. I think 2 years ago, she beat me in everything. Like I came runner up to her in everything. There was doubles, mixed doubles, and singles. I lost to her in all of them. So it's so annoying, but no, we're really good friends. I can't wait to see her once we get out of lockdown.
Hey, well, I've got some real exciting news coming up next week, which you should look out for. It may just be your opportunity. So watch out next week, okay? Hey, the other thing is your mother is such a lovely person, but what's she like at home?
Oh, I mean, she's pretty lovely most of the time. No, she's really good. She's struggling with us asking her to do all this stuff right now, so she's getting a bit annoyed. She can't get any of her jobs done. She can't do anything, but I'm sure as soon as we're out of isolation, we'll try and make it easier for her.
Okay, and finally, Stella, what do you regard as the most remarkable achievement of your tennis career to date?
Honestly, that's kind of hard. I've had a lot of good things in college, a lot of successful seasons that I'm really proud of myself for, and definitely some things before college as well, in tournaments in New Zealand and whatnot. But honestly, there's one thing that I'll never forget, and that's this one time in the Heritage tournament. I forget what it's called now. What is it called now?
The Stafford Road.
Oh, the Stafford Road tournament used to be called the Heritage, and I beat this team 8-0, and that means that you have to come back from being down -30. Like, you have -30 and they have +30 in that game, and you have to win that 4 times to beat them 8-0. So this team was just like useless, and we beat them 8-0. So that's probably my best achievement, I'd say. Wait, was that you that we played? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, sorry, we're out of time actually. Look, I've got to go. I've got someone else coming up shortly. So, hey, thanks very much for joining me today. Great to see you, and hopefully we'll catch up with you after lockdown.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
talking to us.
Okay, cheers, guys.
Thanks for watching the 3rd edition of From the Baseline. I recommend that you follow us on Facebook, because we're putting a bit of stuff on there which isn't going to be on the show. Also, I've got an exciting announcement to make in the next show. We have decided to make a change to the club championships for this year, and we will be letting you all know on the next show the new format for this year's club championships. Also coming up, we have Lauren out of Arkansas, Paul Willie from the Gold Coast, and we have our local MP, Dan Bidwar, on the show. So, there's one other person I'm hunting out, and have a look at this if you can help me.
Hi, it's early morning here in Northcote Point, and I'm out on a mid-lane hunt. I know Lauren wants to be on the show, and I need to find out if she's got a low picket fence. Let me know if you know the answer.
Anyway, thanks for watching From the Baseline.